What is going on, Nuggets Nation NBA fans? My name is Tom Leuthner. Welcome back to Nuggets Today, presented by Fan Arch. We have some topics to cover that I was actually requested to cover, and it's funny because I watched the last video, saw the comments, and all the comments were about the Adelman debate. And it's funny because I was requested to cover the coaching staff and how I think the coaching staff will approach this upcoming season. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, I was asked personally how I think Adelman run the team. Is there going to be a more offensive approach, more defensive approach? Player minutes, all of that. And I was asking if I think it's going to look different under the Adelman regime, and I think it is. I think that Adelman already came out and spoke about what he wants to do, which is play guys, give them all an opportunity at the beginning of the season, and those guys that deserve their minutes will get their minutes. Now, he was in a little bit of a tough situation in the playoffs last year because he was going off of a Calvin Booth and Mike Malone led team, which we all know. So guys like Strother didn't earn their minutes under him. They earned them under Mike Malone. Guys like Peyton Watson didn't earn the minutes under him. They earned them under Mike Malone. So I think that the approach is going to be different when it comes to something like that. So I think that he's going to stick to his word. Guys like Tim Hardaway, who's newer to the team, is going to have to earn his minutes over a guy like Strother, especially because he took a vet minimum. Guys like, obviously Peyton Watson are going to be fighting for minutes with guys like Deron Holmes. Obviously, Val is going to be getting his backup center minutes since he is the only real backup center on the team outside of Deron Holmes. But like I said, Watson and Deron Holmes are going to be fighting for spots. Tim Hardaway and Strother are going to be fighting for spots. Bruce Brown and Pickett, which I think that the other thing with Bruce Brown is that he wasn't here under the Adelman regime. He was here under, Mike Malone. So there might be a little bit more to that. Now, I think that I wouldn't say that they're going to play a more physical game necessarily. I think that they will be playing a game based off of or built around Nikola Jokic. I think we all realize that. You look at what the Nuggets were able to do this offseason. They added 4 guys who are deadly shooters, and 2 of them are going to be on 2 ways, but they'll have the opportunity to come in. Those 4 names, just statistically speaking, were Cam Johnson, who 7 3-pointers a game, shot 39% from 3. Tim Hardaway on his 6 3-pointers per game was shooting 37% from 3. Then you look at Tamar Bates from Mizzou, 4 threes per game, 40% from 3. Curtis Jones from Iowa, 7 threes, 37%. That's not even to mention the fact that Strother's been working out with the Denver organization still, and the fact that Tim Hardaway Jr. is one of the best vet shooters in the league realistically. So I think that Adelman is going to be doing a pretty good job of getting everybody in the beginning of the season. And I do like what he's doing with the zone, or what he did with the zone rather, this last offseason. And that was switch the defense to be based on the player personnel who are in the game. If Jokic and Val do play together, which I will see, I think we'll see maybe sometimes some games where they're going to get 5 to 7 minutes together, you're going to be in a zone. There's no way that you're playing a man. When Deron is in there, if he's coming in and Val and Jokic are on the bench, and you have a lineup of Deron, Cam Johnson, Peyton Watson, Jamal, Bruce Brown maybe, Christian Brown, Aaron Gordon, any of those guys in there, you might see a man defense. So I think that the one good thing is that he's going to constantly switch up his defense to make it work in order for the team to go ahead and get wins. And some people that are going to help are obviously the next topic here, which is JJ Barea and Jared Dudley, who I've talked about. And something, again, I was requested to cover how they are going to be as assistant coaches. And I think that they're going to be great assistant coaches. And I've covered that a lot in the past, but there's some things to get to. The first thing to get to, is the fact that Jared Dudley is more of a defensive-oriented coach, supposedly. I was listening to Denver Sports. They covered it, the fact that Jared Dudley seems to be a defensive coach and seemed to be a defensive coach prior to coming to Denver, which I think is massive because, like I said, I think that Adelman is going to run his defense based off of what his assistant coaches are going to do. People are saying that Adelman's a rental, he's a cheap option. That's fine, but they let him build a staff, and what he did was he brought in former champions, former, role player champions who have a great basketball mind, who are going to, I think, make a majority of the decisions or help him out in making those decisions. So when it comes to defense, obviously what 5 you have on the floor, I think Adelman's going to go to Jared Dudley and he's going to say, hey, what should we run here? What I was also asked to talk about is how they are going to be able to help out the Denver role players. And I think it's going to be a massive factor because I think that they're going to help these younger guys who are, obviously Tim Hardaway's a role player there. Bruce is a role player there, but they're going to help guys like Deron Holmes, like Julian Strawther, like Payne Watson, sort of get over their egos. Now, am I saying that they have egos straight up? No, I'm not. But if they do, a guy like Jared Dudley, who played a role on a championship team in the bubble, he was a role player, didn't even play many games. He was, like I said, he came in, played his role. On the Nets, the Nets were a good vibe team. They made a playoff run strictly because of the chemistry that they built. He was a role player on that team. He was a leader on that team. JJ Barea, a guy who was coming off the bench on a championship Mavericks team. These guys are going to help those kinds of players step into their role, lose that ego, and realize that they have a role to play. So they have to play that role to the max. Like I've covered the last couple episodes, KCP said that it was frustrating to play with Michael Porter Jr. That is gone. But at the same time, I don't think we had a strong enough minded coach to say, get over yourself, play defense. Your role is to get shots when you get the ball and to go on the other side of the court and play defense. So I think that Jared Dudley and JJ will be able to do that. Now, going back to what I was saying about the defensive alignment and what the offenses and defenses Denver will run, the one report that came out is that the seat next to Adelman will be an assistant coach played by majority of the coaching staff. Adelman said that, or the Nuggets said that Adelman will switch up what coach is sitting next to him on the bench, giving him or helping him out with the game plan per game, depending on what the matchup is, what the scouting report says, what the film shows. And I think that's a massive factor. Like I said, when it comes to defense, you'll probably see more JJ Barea, or more Jared Dudley rather, helping him with the alignments. When it comes to ball handling or a game where the guards can take over and actually dominate the other team, I think you'll see a lot more of JJ Barea in there helping him out. So I think, and again, there's a Serbian coach on the Nuggets roster, right, or on the Nuggets staff right now that coached Jokic prior to the NBA. So I think that's going to be a massive factor on games that they think Jokic can completely take over, or games that they think he should pass. You'll probably see him in the assistant coach or the head assistant coach spot. So I think that's great for Denver. I think that as much as people are saying that Adelman is a rental, things like this are an upgrade to the coaching staff. Having guys like Dudley, having somebody who coached with Jokic in Serbia, having guys like JJ Barea, these guys are going to help Adelman take the Nuggets to the next level with the talent they have. Now, speaking about the talent they have, Denver still has one spot left for a contract, and they have some money to spend. I'm interested to see who they go out and get. I'm not going to cover anybody specifically I want them to get right now. I know that Ben Simmons has been in talks with the Suns, the Knicks. I think the Bucks as well were in that conversation. Chris Paul officially just signed with the Clippers again, which makes them a massive threat in the West. And Val is officially staying in Denver and honoring his contract for at least this year. So there's some options out there. I think I saw a report that Horford officially verbally committed to the Warriors, although nothing is on paper yet. So I think that there's still some options out there. Denver should really go ahead and get that can make a difference. One of those guys, obviously Malcolm Brogdon, somebody that we've covered constantly. But maybe they're shopping a trade right now of Zeke Naji's contract before they go ahead and do so. And that is something I will get into next episode. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I will catch you guys next episode.